3, 2, 1. Hi Kiwi and welcome back to another episode of Hades 1. Today we are going to be doing a speed run on the Haribo. So we're going to take Fiery Presence. That matters so much in Tartarus and for most rooms that we'll encounter. We also want to take Infernal Soul. Those extra 2 shots matter a lot when we're scaling with our cast damage. Deep Pockets to buy things in the shop a little bit earlier. High Confidence. We're trading away 50 HP at the start for an extra 25% damage as long as we're above 80% total HP. Family Favorite is a little bit more consistent in terms of damage than Status Privilege, since we're not going to necessarily have an easy way of getting 2 curses on enemies. Dark Foresight always, and then God's Pride instead of what is it? God's Legacy, because we care more about high tier boons than we care about what's the word, than duo boons. Yes, we absolutely want to see Heart Run. We're going to go for Aphrodite's Cast to start, as always, with the Haribo. And we're going to be taking 9 heat with 2 levels of Extreme Measures to get Lernie's heads to spawn closer together, and 2 levels of Forced Overtime to make enemies spawn in quicker. We're not taking any levels of Tight Deadline. Yeah, it would make sense to take those if you were doing a casual speedrun, but when we're doing a legit speedrun, it actually locks us out of being able to get survival rooms, which pause the timer. With all that said, though, let's give this run a shot and hope for a really good Aphrodite cast and some good Artemis and Demeter boons to kind of synergize with the build.
I hate to see you struggling, dearest. Please do be careful.
All right, give us your cast. Ooh, epic tier cast. Excellent. All right, so that's going to help us out a lot in terms of damage, but we're going to be one-shotting most things in Tartarus even without the cast, frankly. The nature of this build is we want to get as many palm levels on the cast, but most things die in one shot because of Fiery Presence plus High Confidence. Let's see. Ooh, Ares. Honestly, Athena offers more. I'm going to take this Erebus Gate, I think. I don't know if this is the right call. Erebus Gates are probably suboptimal for speedruns. But at the bare minimum, it saves me a potential fail state. Oh, shoot, I got clipped. All right, well, unfortunately, we just focus on killing things as quick as possible. I've taken a fair bit of damage, but still a relatively quick room. And there's our first hammer. So hammers can matter a lot on this run. We're looking for twin shot. We're looking for triple shot. We're looking for, apparently, flurry shot is actually very popular for the speedrun build. I just imagine you pump out a lot of damage, but you have to kind of alternate with your cast potentially. I don't fully know. Gods we're looking for, as mentioned before, of course Artemis, of course Aphrodite, of course Demeter, actually, because Snowburst, her cast-enhancing tier 2 boon, is actually very good AoE damage.
Could use a little fine-tuning.
Point blank shot, twin shot, perfect. Okay, so now we basically just doubled our damage there. I'm gonna go for the coin. We are still at high confidence range, I believe. So yeah, we're basically one-shotting mobs as they spawn in. Another little minor optimization for speedruns to note is enemies spawn in always facing to the right. So if you position to their left, you can very consistently deal some extra damage. Let's see. None of these are super valuable, so we're going to skip the shop here. And a nectar on the nectar will give us a palm level on the cast, which is lovely for us. We definitely want to see that as much as possible. Honestly, it's pretty lucky that we got this what is it, twin shot so early. And an epic Aphrodite boon. Now, I will note that I have taken enough damage to be outside the range of... What's it called? Outside the range of...
Meg, I'll take care of this.
Shoot. I mispositioned. I need to... I say this every time I attempt a speedrun and I have Meg on the docket. I need to learn how to aim her properly, because I could have hit both of those and popped both their armors.
Envision your success and choose the means by which you shall achieve it, Zagreus.
Also, forgive me, I know I'm going to talk very fast, but I am in speedrun mode, and I have had a lot of coffee. Ugh, that's actually terrible. We want an Artemis boon if we can get it, because it's not the most amazing, but Parting Shot does enhance our cast damage a little bit. It's super unreliable. I guess I'll just take the Bronze Skin for the survivability, because she's not the god we care about re-rolling for at this point. And another Palm is very helpful, because it will more readily... it gives us a whole lot of cast damage. Aphrodite's cast scales incredibly well with any sort of palm we can put on it, so we want as many palms as we can get. And all right, we're up to 202 damage base on the crush shot, which is lovely. Getting a lot of darkness, which isn't ideal. It'll give us some survivability, but that's about the extent of what it offers. Making sure to try and charge up my power shots where possible, and again, position so enemies, when they spawn in, I can try and hit as many as possible. That's the one advantage triple shot has over twin shot, is that it has more AoE. And for larger enemies, you can stack things so they get kind of hit all at once. Life Essence might be worth taking here just so that I get back into high confidence range, because what am I at right now? I'm at 75% of my HP, so I'm too low for it to be activated. So yeah, I think I'll take that Life Essence. And then, honestly, the shop was probably more worthwhile here. The early coin isn't bad, but we needed a god boon.
You can, if you don't mind me saying so, Princess.
I ended up just taking the closest option rather than the correct option per se, although Boldy could give us some movement speed. He could give us movement speed or attack speed or cast damage, which, sorry, not attack speed, but
Thank you for keeping my friend company.
attack damage or cast damage from Boldy would be nice here. Let's see what we get.
Most gracious, Prince said.
Bonus coin, not the end of the world. HP, definitely not our priority here. We're going to be a glass cannon.
Hey, Than.
Than showing up is great. He pauses the timer.
One and the same. Don't have much time, but let me see if I can pitch in.
All right. So yeah, my brain is on coffee on speedrun mode, and I can play this room fairly casually, thankfully, since it's Than pausing the timer. One optimization that I will mention for these sorts of Than rooms, though, is you want to have, when you finish the Than room, wait to... well, if you get given a god boon, I guess it doesn't matter in this instance, but if you are given a Than room, don't pick up your reward until... or don't select your boon from a god until Than leaves and, like, drops his HP or his centaur heart, because the timer resumes as soon as he has done said his little lines and dropped his item. He'll automatically drop it after a point, but see, this took 10 seconds just to get out of the room. And that dialogue we just had from, I almost called him Hades Jr., from Zagreus actually extended it even longer. So it was a little suboptimal, a little unlucky in that regard. We'll take what we get. Oh my goodness, these witches. All right, there is a Chaos Gate. That's lovely. We want as many Chaos Gates as we can get. I'm having a problem with these witches. Hold on, I need to get rid of them ASAP. And these numbskull spawners are a problem. I don't actually know what they're called. They're just, for me, they're skull spawners. They're skull piles. But this is actually a really bad room. The witches just keep clipping me, and I have lost high confidence and then some. All right, there's our coin. Chaos Gate, most likely. Yeah, we take the Chaos Gate. It's an extra room, but it's well worth it if it gives us cast damage or cast gems, bloodstones. All right, let's see what we get. Attack plus 64% damage, really not that bad for us, so we'll take that. We do take an extra 350% damage from Abyssal Strike, but that's basically just playing with a hide and security on, which we're used to doing at this point. Not that I won't dash into Meg's traps left and right like usual, but this should be the end shop, I believe, since we were offered... Oh, excellent, an Artemis boon. So it doesn't really matter whether I buy the Palm or Artemis first here, because I don't have enough boons that could be palmed, but just to play it safe, I will get this extra cast level first. So we're up to 228 damage on that cast. And here, the most important thing to note is Hunter's Dash does not set us up for Heartrend, so we don't take it over Deadly Flourish. Ideally, we take Artemis's attack, but it's probably more important to set up for Heartrend. I don't know, maybe I reroll here. I'm not sure what is optimal. I guess I'll take one reroll here.
What else we got?
There we go. It's the lowest tier attack, but it is an attack boon, and now we have a 20% chance to crit on our attack, and we are set up for Heartrend. We're going to go diving straight into Meg, and I'm going to try and damage her as much as possible. Or Electo, I guess.
I'm really starting to hate you. You know that, Red Blood?
I get the sense. That's okay. I wasn't sure how quickly we take her out, so I can charge all of these up. It might honestly be worth taking some Sisyphus here just to, or dropping a Boldy for the damage. Okay. I was just out of range to hit her. Ah, clip. I might toss out a Death Defiance here if I'm not careful. There it is. Okay. Of course, overtime is rough, but we should have her dead now. Ah, man, I take a lot of damage. It's fine. The thing about speedruns is you can afford to play a little glass cannon-y and just count on Patroclus to show up. Although, realistically speaking, you shouldn't. Did we bug? Did I go too fast? Electo? Oh, okay, whoa. Well, that was weird. Alright, so definitely not our fastest Tartarus, unfortunately. That was a pretty subpar Tartarus for me. I'm aiming for sub 3 minutes every floor if I can.
Electro failed.
And again, I'm aiming for a sub 10-minute run at some point. So we've got Aphrodite, we've got Artemis, we're set up for Heartrend. There are a lot of boons we want from Artemis in particular, though. pressure points if we can get fully loaded. That would be incredible. Unlikely to happen, but setting up for pressure points plus exit wounds would set us up for it. The other two gods that are very much worth considering, Demeter, as mentioned before, Snowburst is a very good AoE ability. Slows enemies down, which is kind of a nice secondary. More importantly, well, that would be the most important supporting god here. Alternatively, Poseidon to get Mirage Shot for that extra 30% damage on our cast. We already have Athena in the pool, so really it's just a matter of, do we want Mirage Shot or do we want Snowburst? And I don't know which one to choose, so I think I force Artemis here because she is more likely going to give me things that I really need.
Okay.
And nothing to sell here. I mean, I can sell bronze skin, honestly. That's a lot of coin that we can use in the shop later. Hopefully afford a palm off of that at the bare minimum. If not now, certainly buy sticks. I think the biggest mistake of this run so far was just how bad that witch's room went, and then not taking the mid shop earlier. But let's see how Asphodel goes. Asphodel's a little bit of a troll environment sometimes because enemies spawn super spread out and love to jump away. So if I'm charging up a power shot, I might not be able to kill them. And there's a Skull Crusher to just kind of waste my time. Thankfully, we can pop them very quickly, and I can kill this one before it even gets its attack off. Where are you? Okay, Numbskull Pile, we can kill pretty quickly. You do want to try and dash strike as much as possible because it speeds up how quickly you charge your power shot on the bow.
You take one of these and go for it.
All right, let's see a hyper sprint. There's a hyper sprint. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to take hyper sprint here since I'm always dash striking anyway. That sets us up for rush delivery, and there's another palm. Let's go ahead and take that. All right, so we'll definitely task that on the cast as well. We just want to get as many cast levels as possible because it will scale the most, and especially if we can crit with it from pressure points down the road, it will pretty substantially enhance our damage.
Place is crawling with these.
Of course, I do have to focus a little bit, so forgive me if commentary is sparse in moments, but
Power of the gods.
all right, we just got a 64% attack damage increase, which is lovely. Combo that with our cast damage now being 247 per hit. We ignore that Infernal Trove, and as much as I want that fish, I'm going to have to ignore it. So here's an optimization that's definitely worth discussing. Do I take Ambrosia Delight versus Refreshing Nectar? Ambrosia Delight being a boon that, or a offering from these two that give me enhanced rarity on the boons I currently have, versus Refreshing Nectar, which enhances the boon rarities of things I find later. Objectively speaking, for speedruns, you want to go Refreshing Nectar to enhance future boons rather than the ones you currently have. In this instance, it's not terrible to consider Ambrosia Delight because it will most likely hit the attack and the cast. The only alternatives it can hit are Hyper Sprint, which doesn't affect the speed boost, so if we get Rush Delivery later, it won't enhance the damage we get, it just enhances the duration of that sturdy and movement speed buff duration. But there's a decent chance it upgrades the rarity of Crush Shot and even the attack on top of that, so it's pretty good. Though I will argue here still, we want a high rarity.
Sing and sing and never once grow weary, Zagreus.
We want a high rarity Rush Delivery more than anything. Alternatively, Hermes Legendary and higher tier boons from Artemis and Heartrend, especially between Artemis and Aphrodite, are more important, I would say. So I'm going to take Refreshing Nectar. I think that's what most speedrunners do here. But again, I make a very good argument for, in this specific run, given the basically 2/3 odds of getting the boons we want it on
Break it up, witches.
to matter here. I probably should have used Meg here, honestly, but I don't know how to set these witches up for the positioning that I need to kill them. I am not well equipped for these witches. I wish we had gotten Athena's Dash. If we had gotten Athena's Dash instead of some crap defensive boon, that would have helped immensely for this run. Oh well. We lost high confidence again, but we should get a good Artemis boon here.
Zagreus, kill or be killed.
Heartrend? Heartrend or not? No. That epic tier Hunter's Mark is decent, but I think it's worth re-rolling here just for the sake of finding Heartrend potentially, or a high tier pressure points. Hunter's Mark isn't terrible, but I don't think it's the optimal option here. So let's roll.
No thanks.
And there's Heartrend. Okay, so your critical effects now deal 150% extra damage to weak foes. We're going to apply weak to every enemy hit by Crush Shot.
You too.
And we're getting keys, which are helpful because they'll give us rerolls. Since we've already spent we've spent half our rerolls already, that will be helpful. But unfortunately, if enemies are going to dash away like that, there is a decent chance I miss them. This is kind of what I said was my biggest gripe about Asphodel as a whole, in terms of losing time here, for sure. All right, I probably don't have anything I want to sell here, certainly not those options. We do not take trial rooms, as fun as they are to get really strong builds. They slow down the run as a whole, so we'll take this Aphrodite room. Most likely the thing we'd want at this point is Sweet Surrender, just to get the enhanced damage that it offers. Again, trying to position so enemies attack relatively close together, so that you can hit them with all your boons at once, or kill multiples at once. Because that's one of the reasons you take Crush Shot rather than Artemis's cast, is it has AoE. Let's see, Flourish is not worth it. Blown Kiss. Ooh, I didn't consider Blown Kiss, but that... Blown Kiss, your cast shoots farther, and more importantly, is stronger against undamaged foes. Since we're depending on Fiery Presence, the first hit doing as much damage as possible, that's actually a fairly decent pickup for us, so we'll take that. I assume. I haven't seen it mentioned in speedruns, so as much as I want to take that Hermes room, and it might honestly still be worth taking that Hermes room, because it could give us a very high tier rush delivery. It's probably more optimal to take the shop because it saves time here. The question is, do I risk it for rush delivery, which makes the run as a whole faster, or do I risk it for the shop where Hermes could still show up and I could buy him? I don't know the correct decision here. We still have 2 boons that are Refreshing Nectar could hit. I think I'm going to go for the Hermes boon and pray that we get a quick, easy room, which now I've certainly jinxed myself. Oh, wait, it's the end. It's the end. Never mind. This was entirely optimal. Excellent.
Hades.
I forgot we had passed the mid shop, or the mid shop already. All right. No rush delivery, but we absolutely reroll here and hope.
Hey, got anything else?
Honestly, it's probably worth rerolling a second time, and I hate that. All right, Kiwi, moment of truth. There are all our rerolls. Rush delivery 100%. There you go. So now, every time I dash strike, I am dealing 100% more damage because it's 100% bonus damage from bonus speed, and hyper sprint is just a flat 100% extra damage. It was worth the reroll. It was worth taking this room. We have just massively increased our DPS potential. Watch it. I think we can one-shot Lerny in this situation.
All right, Lerny, let's have it out between us then.
Let's see what happens. Okay, might have been a little overzealous on that, but like, look how quick we phased him. I need to be on the lookout for recollecting my cast gems as soon as they spawn or pop out of enemies, but look at how much damage Blown Kiss, Fiery Presence, and all the other boons we have. Like, there we go. There's his second HP cap. It's so powerful, getting a good rush delivery. Now, the question is, will this be enough to carry the run in terms of our DPS? Because we have the majority of the boons we need. Yeah, we really would love to see... One second, I need to focus a little bit. All right, these guys are spawning next to each other. Trying to take this out before he bounces his head. Kill his friend before it spawns. I don't know where my cast gems wound up. There they are. It's nice that they do kind of tell you where things wind up, but it's hard to always find them easily. And wha-bam. All right, so yeah, we're averaging about 3 minutes a floor, so
Done bashing heads for now.
not the best odds, admittedly, for seeing a sub 10 run.
The Bloodless failed to stop you once again.
I'd mostly just be happy seeing a PB, which my PB is currently, I think, 11 minutes and 11 seconds, I believe. So if we could get a sub 11, I'll be happy with that alone. At this point, what do I take? Bone Hourglass is worth considering because there are Well of Charon things that would be pretty good here. Yarn of Ariadne could guarantee us a higher tier boon if Demeter or, what's his face? Sidon show up, because again, Mirage Shot is worth considering. Alternatives to that are the Hades Keepsake. Since we've gotten our 2 Hermes boons that we care about, Hades Keepsake gives us a lot of bonus damage if we get the Greater Call, I believe is how it works. I don't actually know, but I see speedrunners like to take it. So that's my assumption on how it works. Can make an argument for Acorn for survivability. Alternatively, again, Bone Hourglass or Chthonic Coin Purse are well worth considering. Alternatively, since I seem to be really enjoying sitting in the red, Skull Earring is a fair option as well. I think at this point, I probably just take whichever of the other gods shows up as soon as they show up. As long as it's not Zeus. Zeus isn't great. Dionysus has some supporting boons, but not really in the way of damage that it matters. Ares really doesn't work well with this, although he does have one boon that every time you slay an enemy, you deal more damage with your attack or special, so he's worth considering. But really, the best gods for this sort of build are Aphrodite, Artemis, and Demeter, with reasonable consideration to Poseidon for Mirage Shot and Athena for Parting Shot. They're the duos they have with Artemis. I think with all that said, though, I am going to go ahead and take... I think I'll just lock in the Sigil of the Dead. It locks in our call slot, so we don't have to worry about that getting in the way of boons offered by the other gods as they show up. And I will go ahead and buy this Yarn of Ariadne. And I think just for safety reasons, it'll make me feel less inclined to take a Death Defiance from Patroclus when we could take Cyclops Jerky. So I will buy that Death Defiance there as well. Nothing here I want to sell. I basically have all the boons I really need for this build to be as potentially fast as it can be, aside from Pressure Points, Hunter's Mark, fully loaded from Artemis. And of course, Mirage Shot, if we can be lucky enough to get that from Poseidon. But I have the bulk of my build as it is. There's our second hammer. We've got level 5 Crush Shot, so I'm pretty happy with the palm level on that. We're going to see diminishing returns at this point. The hammer could be a pretty substantial damage up for us. I don't know what can be offered, but certainly honorable mentions to oh gosh, this is like, I hate these enemies so much. It's probably optimal for me to just dash back and forth across this little gap to get them to knock themselves out rather than to try and kill them legit. Just, oh gosh, that was a mess. Oh my goodness. I panic megged. That's embarrassing. That was a mistake. That was a real bad mistake. All right, ooh, Flurry Shot. Flurry Shot is a big deal to my understanding. Granted, I don't necessarily know how to use it effectively. Perfect Shot, alternatively, like these are all actually phenomenal hammers. I'm gonna try Flurry Shot. Yeah, I give up my Power Shot, but I Rapid Attack, and that could be, like, to my understanding, that scales really well with this build. How? I don't really know. I just have to make sure that I'm constantly dashing regardless, because that will enhance, we need the rush delivery benefit. Alternatively, Point Blank Shot, I could make an argument for that. Or honestly, the perfect shot is a fair consideration since I'm constantly launching power shots anyway. I think I'm gonna go Flurry Shot just so I can kind of learn how to play it, if nothing else. Ares we don't care about. Let's take this palm. What? Just because I'm getting diminishing returns on. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm so used to having power shots as a consideration that now this is a little weird to me. But I think I can learn how to manage this. If I can learn how to manage this, this will up our damage a fair bit. Okay, I like this. The cast gems land on top of me. All right, 8% more damage on the attack means nothing. We just keep scaling with the Crush Shot, I think. And then, ooh, there's Poseidon, actually. I'm going to take the Poseidon room here because Poseidon can give us Mirage Shot, like we mentioned before. Oh, well, that was evadable. That was avoidable. Where are the enemies? Where are the enemies? Why aren't they near me? That's definitely some time lost in this room. And possibly a Death Defiance loss as well. Flurry Shot comes out so fast, it's a little disorienting.
Can't do that.
All right. Definitely going to take some getting used to.
Who dares to mess with little Hades? You simply point me at them, nephew, and we'll leave them shivering and sopping wet, you'll see.
Let's get them soaked, Uncle. All right, so probably locking in a core boon slot is what matters most here. The question then becomes, what's the option here that we can take? So basically all of his boons lock in potential for Mirage Shot. So I think I'm going to sit on the dash just because if we get Athena's dash, that's extra survivability, and I'm not depending on anyone's special for this build. So yeah, let's take Tempest Flourish. I will never use it. We take the shop here for sure. It's a free room without any encounter duration, or without any encounter. And we'll buy the mystery boon.
Such a sweetheart.
Different league, life affirmation. I don't have any rerolls anyway, so I think between these, life affirmation could potentially make it easier to get high confidence, so I think I'll take that. because I can heal more. It'll make the threshold for where high confidence is triggered more accessible if I get good fountain chambers. So yeah, let's go that route. And then I will buy this palm.
Should come in useful.
And toss it on the cast. 269, level 7 cast. All right. Here's an instance where we actually want the mini boss room. The reason for that is we can pop them fairly quickly with our current DPS, and it's generally faster to DPS a single target over a spread out room with multiple enemies. So, and we got Butterfly Ball, which is exactly what we want to see. Look at that. Butterfly Ball is instantly killed. That was an extremely fast Butterfly Ball room. That was beautiful. And we got Mirage Shot. We got Mirage Shot. That is a 30% damage increase overall. Well, I guess not technically overall, but you get what I mean. To our cast, which is the bulk of our damage. And then HP versus coin. It's probably optimal to go coin here. I would like to see... Oh, Fountain Chamber. Excellent. That saves us time. And we got the Patroclus room after that. That's amazing. So here's where the run potentially dies, though. So story rooms like this pause the timer so I can kind of talk for a second and give you my thought process right now. So if you watched my last speedrun attempt where I was on PB pace, I was ruined by 6 RNG. There is a roughly 54% chance that we get a 2-chamber Styx. For me to even have a chance at beating my PB, I need that 2-chamber Styx. So we all know I'm going to get at least a 3 if not 4-chamber Styx. But if I do get 2-chamber Styx here, this buff that I'm about to get from Patroclus will make it to Hades and significantly increase our DPS.
Achilles here still have a lot of catching up to do.
Wish us luck, Kiwi. This is where the run really comes to matter. Can I PB or not? So Cyclops Jerky taken, and then the next chamber is a palm. We will gladly take another palm. I don't know where at this point I stand in terms of what is more optimal for taking. I imagine I still would favor probably taking palms on the cast rather than anywhere else. Okay, I really like Flurry Cast on Haribo. I have never run this before, and it feels incredible. Because I just mash the cast button while I am shooting, while I hold down the attack button, and we just watch these enemies get melted. As long as I'm within range to pick up my cast stone, which is fairly easy, we get a lot of damage out. All right, 278 on that crush shot. Honestly, the coin is nice, but it's probably not worth it. Getting another Meg, though, is great because then I can kill a mini-boss faster, and I can use this on Theseus, Theseus Asterius' fight now, too. That's all I take here. All right, on to the next room. There's the end shop. This is the final room. So a free Poseidon boon, we already got Mirage Shot. We got everything we need from Poseidon, so we go for the shop and see if we can get another palm. The more palms on the cast, the better. I'm gonna skip that Poseidon boon, honestly, because there's nothing. I really don't think there's anything to be gained from Poseidon at this point. I can double check the codex real quick. But all right, Poseidon, anything you could possibly offer us? I guess I could make an argument for Hydraulic Might. Hydraulic Might is not a terrible option here. But it honestly may be better to just save the coin for more palms and sticks, and I think that honestly is the case. Because it's not going to kill Hades any faster, and that's probably the biggest time sink we have ahead of us. Yeah, I think that's the logic here. I really have nothing left to get from Poseidon, to the point where I would genuinely consider selling Tempest Flourish for the coin it offers. So one more palm level on Crush Shot, and straight into the heroes we go. We're not at a bad pace. It's really going to come down to 6 RNG, unfortunately.
Other guy.
We've nothing left to say to one another, Hellspawn, other than to battle.
And to battle we go. Dropping Meg immediately, and then bursting down Asterius. Look at, we've already phased Asterius, which is lovely. I need to try and position better for what's his face, Theseus, because I am not killing him as quick as I would like because his shield is blocking our damage, but he likes to reposition. There we go. Okay, he's phased. Gonna pill this up, and now we just melt him. Bye, Theseus. Pretty clean heroes.
That'll do. The underworld's power.
Let's see. I have roughly, I think, 2.5 minutes. There is a chance I PB here. There's basically no chance I get sub 10, but I can realistically see a sub 11 run here. It is possible. We keep the Hades keepsake. I would love, honestly, extra damage to armor is not bad here. Is it worth it enough to buy it though? Or I think we melt armor fast enough as is. We did not get the option to sell Poseidon's special, so I don't think we have many boons that we can palm anyway, so I'm gonna sit here. I'm probably gonna just buy palms in the shop, and the most important thing for Styx is to prioritize mini-boss rooms. Mini-boss rooms go a lot faster. As we've proven with just regular bosses, having one target to just pump all of your DPS into goes a lot faster than having a giant room where we have to deal with a ton of potential enemy spawns. Got a lot of nice coin pots in this room. All right, so as soon as we leave this chamber, the final timer starts. We have to... Ooh, actually, we might be unlucky with that Cyclops Turkey. It takes 8 encounters to clear. I think we have exactly 8 encounters ahead of us to even be able to see Hades. So unfortunately, I am probably not going to have that going into Hades, but we'll manage. We'll manage anyway. Let's see what we got. Aphrodite, Palm, and then it'll be a meta progression item. So no second Hermes. Not that there's a lot that Hermes can offer here other than greater recall or whatever it's called. His cast enhancing boon. The palms I will purchase, and arguably I buy them now. So let's go to the shop and grab those. They'll give a little bit of extra damage. Another 2 levels on Crush Shot sounds lovely. Maybe I should. Probably would have been more optimal to wait. Okay. So I think I will take the coin first to afford that other palm in the shop. Yeah, what I should have done was waited until I had enough to afford both of those palms, so I didn't have to waste some time going to the shop. But that's a minor optimization. It's going to cost me a couple seconds. It's not the end of the world. My goodness, I love this. This is so much. This is lovely. I think we crit for 1800 and 1900-ish damage there, which is amazing. Wow, okay. There's a legitimate chance here, Kiwi. There is a legitimate chance for a PB. It all depends on 6 RNG. Keep it going. All right, we're at 9 minutes. What are we getting in our... What's our mini-boss going to be? If it's Tony, we're going to be really sad. Our Tiny Vermin is a huge time waster sort of boss. It's not. Okay, awesome. Wow, look at how fast we melted that. That's what I mean by saying we want mini-boss rooms. They are huge time saves. Okay, I have a lot of coin now. I'm going to sit on that until I can afford things. So we go for the HP here. Again, mini-bosses prioritized over... Not yet. Mini-bosses are prioritized over larger rooms that will take a lot more time.
No way.
That room was pretty long. Unfortunately, the enemies... We're getting unlucky with these tiny vermin spawns. The little rodents just take forever to spawn in. Forced over time helps, but it can't make up for just the nature of the run. All right, do we get the 2 chamber 6? Is the PB dream live? Time to find out. Also, if we get a good shot, we could get Ignited Ichor, we could get Attack Boon. We get nothing. I guess I'll take Nemesis Crest because it's technically damage up. Unless, is there an Aphrodite boon that I want? Sweet Surrender, I could make an argument for. No, my timer. I'll take it. Unfortunately, the Cyclops Jerky is not making it to Hades, so that's one major point of DPS loss, unfortunately getting into Hades. But, all right, do we get it? We do not get it, and it's Tony. Bad RNG. I knew it. I was gonna have bad RNG, but what can you do? We just focus on DPSing him down as much as possible, and when I feel that there's a decent chance that we can get more damage on him, I'll toss out a Meg. I'm gonna go for Meg now. I think we got him. Okay, good. I mean, did anyone else see Tony? I think he may have stopped by briefly, but I didn't see him for very long. Hopefully he stops by again. Actually, no, he was a waste of time. We'll go for the palm here. It's at least some more damage, if nothing else. Unlucky Styx, though. In typical fashion, we're on PB pace. We might still have PB pace nonetheless. Like, if this is a 3 chamber 6, I can still see this going well enough. But my goodness, flurry shot on Hera. Kind of busted, actually. And it's not that hard to manage. I'm mostly just mashing, but Blown Kiss is really nice because if it hits a wall when... Okay, 3 chamber 6, we have a chance. We still have a chance at PBing here. Let's get level 12 Crush Shot. I know it's a huge diminishing return. It still scales way better, I would say at this point. Although, honestly, like, I don't know what the better option here is between 8% attack damage or what is that? 9 extra cast damage. I still think it's cast damage. Let's take our satyr points. All right. Let's see. I cannot afford Aphrodite and the palm. The sweet surrender from Aphrodite probably gives us more damage than the palm does, so I will go for that. Hopefully get it.
Cheers, mate.
Sweet nectar, completely useless. Sweet surrender. There we go. 15% extra damage to weak afflicted foes. That is probably some time save, but maybe not that much in the long run.
A solitary weakness, Satyr's axe, proved terribly effective once again.
Okay, my fastest Hades time ever was just under a minute, I think. Can I see a new record? If I can beat Hades in, let's say, 50 seconds, I can still PB. Do you believe, Kiwi? I think it's entirely dependent on how often he spams darkness, and if we can keep him from spamming darkness. I also need to make sure that I don't get sidetracked by his summons. His summons will be a nuisance, but I can melt them very quickly. It's mostly just I need to focus my DPS on Hades. Wish me luck. Here we go. Can we get... We're not getting sub 10, but can we get sub 11?
See you, boy.
Unlikely. Can we get PB? Possible. Very possible, but at the end of the day, if not, 6 RNG, man. Ruins every run. Really does. All right, Kiwi. Get hype. Here we go.
All right. This is it.
Ah, there you are, boy. I was beginning to think I'd need a thicker cloak.
Don't worry, Dad. We're going to send you back to that beautiful, ornate fireplace back at home soon enough. You can be plenty warm. All right, here we go.
I can't.
All right, that's the first third of his phase. Shit. I wasted my cast there. And there's the darkness. Unideal. All right, I got all my cast gems. Come on. I still have high confidence, I think. Okay, there's his second third of HP. Cast gems are retrieved, and go shoot the dad. Come on, there we go. Greater Call is available, so I can use that for extra damage on the next phase. We drop Meg as soon as this phase starts.
You asked for this.
Help.
Really, Zagreus?
Son, why spring to his assistance, Megara?
All right, there's half of his HP done in mere seconds. Come on. Ah, shoot. He's dashing way too much, and my casts are going all over the place. I don't... Maybe. Okay, timer pause when we die. This is fine. Come on, grab the cast. And there we go, new PB!
Oh, why? I was much stronger once than this.
We would have legitimately, potentially... I don't think we would have seen a sub 10 minutes. But we would have at least seen a sub 11 if I had gotten the proper 6 RNG. But that said, we had pretty much great RNG everywhere else. I mean, epic tier, rush delivery, hyper sprint, heart rend almost immediately. No chaos luck. Actually, I take that back. We got a 64% boon from chaos on the attack. So I would have preferred the cast, but honestly, really good RNG. There were a lot of optimizations. I need to learn how to position to get enemies to spawn closer to doors, because I'm prone to dashing away from doors sometimes.
Quick as a flash that
But
time.
like, all things considered, pretty, like, there's our new PB, right? There it is. 11:05. Woohoo! All right. 103 win streak. Not that that terribly matters to me at this point. I just wanted to get to 100 and I'm satisfied. Let's see. What do we honor here? I mean, it was kind of a busted run, all things considered. I really like Flurry Shot on the Haribo. That was really fun. All right, let's see. So, of course, we need to honor Hera and Heartrend. Mirage Shot. Best possible rush delivery outside of Heroic, which I don't think you can get offered. And Flurry Shot, I want to honor Flurry Shot, but let's be honest, I think the level 12 Crush Shot kind of sells the deal here a bit better than Flurry Shot. We will never forget Flurry Shot. I will take Flurry Shot again if I run this. But I'm plenty happy with Crush Shot here being our breadwinner. I mean, we put 12 levels into it. I think we should honor it. All right, Kiwi. There we go. New PB.
The underworld's power.
Still nowhere close to where I want it to be, but that comes with time, practice, and better understanding of optimizations. Like that time I chose to take Hermes over a shop. Maybe I should have gone for the shop.
Just when his victory was all but certain, a fissure opens underneath the feet of the ill-fated prince, and from it vents a cloud of superheated water vapor. Steam, as it is known. And probably you know what happens next.
And then I immediately remembered that that wasn't actually a mistake because it was the end shop, so I didn't have to force an encounter there. But if there was a similar situation where it was Hermes versus mid shop, which would be the better option there, I guess is the thing worth considering.
Showed you that time, Father.
But there we go. All right, I'm pretty satisfied with that. My brain is racing. I am still wired on coffee and ridiculously sleep deprived. I am in that sweet spot of so barely, like, coffee is carrying me hard right now, but I have this weird...
Welcome to the House of Hades, where death is our life.
Very, very weird sweet spot where I am tired enough that I talk faster, but I don't slur my speech, and I'm somehow far more coherent than I normally am. Because I'm usually too sleep deprived. It's weird. I am going to be so dead brained tomorrow, but ooh-wee, Kiwi, I have been bouncing off the walls with this new coffee.
If ever there's something I can do, you need but ask.
Hopefully I didn't talk too fast and become too too hard to understand.
Take care, sir.
Let's see. I did the dishes, fed the heads, cleaned the cupboards, cleared the pool.
But what I love about these speedruns is I can kind of verbalize my thought process and really explain why I'm making the decisions I am. Who exactly is the supervisor around here? This is ridiculous. Cause of death, blood pressure. That's relatable. My blood pressure is probably through the roof.
Hey, Than, tell me something, and forgive the awkward question here, but are we good? I mean, between us. Any infuriating habits I should know about, that sort of thing?
You know I don't have time to list all your infuriating habits, Zagreus. Though, if any of them were outside my usual tolerance threshold, I promise to let you know. All right?
So then we're good. Because I think we're good, but I just wanted to make sure.
We're good. See you, all right?
I'm glad they're good. All right. I took a moment to collect my thoughts while I let them talk, but basically, I am surprisingly functional for the amount of sleep I got.
Each savage maw of Cerberus salivates in anticipation of the next time to feed.
Some stressful things going on in the background that both Kiwi and I seem to have
always have more pets for the greatest boy.
Seem to have struggled to sleep last night over. We're both chronic insomniacs, and stress just adds to that. We both made today way more doable by drinking coffee, because I think the reason I'm so sensitive to caffeine is I have spent the majority of my life, mind you, through grad school too.
What else can we do to contain you, I wonder?
Without drinking coffee, and it is a weird wonder drug. It is like suddenly I am hyper focused.
Looks like Meg's the featured house servant right now.
Apparently caffeine is a caffeine is a solution to ADHD, perhaps, at least temporarily. Although it's kind of a weird mesh of that plus being at the right level of rested and not rested, I suppose. I'll take the gemstones. I'm not using those keys for literally anything.
You made it all the way last time.
So I think what I will do is once we finish talking to all the housemates, I'm going to pause at Skelly and kind of recap the run and kind of figure out what could be done better.
Just need to keep at it.
Still a little off tune, but we're getting there. You're holding chord, Zag, which is great. Every now and again, it sounds pretty legit too. All right, so let's say goodnight to Skelly, and then I'll do a quick recap of what I think I can improve on, what I should do differently in the future. And then we've got a shield run next. Okay.
Let's chat more batter, boyo. Hit me already.
All right. So what can I do better? I think the biggest time losses I had were there were some aspects of RNG, which I mean, you can't ever fully account for RNG. I mean, we had some really strong boons that carried us through part of this run in terms of to compensate for some poor optimizations. But things that could have been better, some better Well of Care unlock. Obviously, Styx was the big nail in the coffin for causing us to be just barely under PB. But getting Cyclops Jerky to make it to Hades, that's probably the big one. The things that I think knowledge base I need to improve on, I need to learn how to use Meg's keepsake appropriately. Because I could have cleared that witch's mid boss pretty quickly with it. I know there's actually a trick to basically one-shotting all of the witches when they spawn if you use it correctly. Similarly, Hades' Keepsake, I need to learn how to use better. I believe it makes all your damage count as backstab, or it gives you some damage modifier, like a 25 to 30% modifier if you use the Greater Call, which is why I saved it for the second phase of Hades. But there was the biggest time loss in Hades. The second half of Hades is second half, or second phase. I was tossing my cast stones left and right, and I had to go collect them if I wanted to deal more damage with them. And so I ended up just sitting on him and spamming Flurry Attack, which I think cost me a fair few seconds. So really, the optimization there, first off, Blown Kiss was a huge pickup that I hadn't accounted for, and I will look for that in the future. The important thing to know about Blown Kiss and Aphrodite's cast as a whole, especially with Blown Kiss, is there's a little bit of a bug. If you throw Aphrodite's cast into a wall and Blown Kiss hits that wall through an enemy, the cast gem gets dropped instantly. That's why, well, aside from just instantly nuking enemies down, I could rapid fire cast. And so positioning myself where the wall was behind an enemy in close proximity, I could rapid fire cast like no tomorrow. The issue with Hades is Hades dashes around a lot, so it's hard to do that. But it's certainly something that I could have optimized better. My positioning was terrible in that Hades fight, and my bloodstone management was as well. There were also minor time losses in terms of that shop in Styx that I mentioned, and certainly the early Tartarus rooms were a bit rough. Could have been played a little bit better. Namely, I need to know when to use my cast stone and when not. With Fiery Presence and with a fully charged power shot and high confidence going, you can one-shot witches without using your cast enhanced attack. And so I should save my cast stones primarily for ringers, louts, and wretches, who have a higher HP pool than the numbskulls, the mind throwers, and the witches. So of course, other little suboptimal RNG situations. All the numbskull rooms were rough. The witches rooms that had them spread out so far, those are really annoying. We actually had a pretty good layout for our Asphodel rooms, and Elysium was super clean. That was a really good Elysium. We melted things in Elysium. That butterfly ball lasted, what, like 3 seconds? That was beautiful. So I think in a lot of ways this was a really good run, and it was a really good learning opportunity for me, as well as a good time to reflect. It's honestly a run that I will probably rewatch down the road and say, all right, what went right, what went wrong, how could I have optimized in those individual rooms and bosses? We definitely had a rough Electo. I mean, we lost a Death Defiance, didn't we? Or we just got shy of losing a Death Defiance. No, we lost the Death Defiance in the witches room, I think. Either way, that was a lot of time waste, because every time I get hit by those witches projectiles, it cancels out an attack. So there were a lot of little time losses that probably added up to a full like 10 plus seconds. So there's a lot to learn from this run. But if nothing else, I learned the power of Flurry Shot on Haribo, which is just, that was such a fun build. And like, I was too busy just focusing on positioning relative to doors and enemies to look at our damage count, but I know I saw a 1900 crit at some point, which just felt great. We had so much damage. And I probably won't have RNG like that on a speedrun again for a very long time. And that's okay. That's okay. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun and being satisfied with your runs. And I am more than satisfied with how this run went. So with all that said, Kiwi, I think that's it for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I will see you in the next one for some more Hades 1.
Good as new.